pushing the button.
Down to an art.
Are we ready?
Yes. Good morning, Goddess.
How are you again?
We're very excited once again to bring you our fabulous show. Season 2, episode 7.
7.
And we only say this so that we can keep track of what the heck we've been doing every week. I'm telling you.
It takes a lot.
It does. I'm learning a lot. You're smarter than I am at this, but it's a matter of labeling,
I'm not smarter,
uploading.
I'm just more seasoned.
It's just seasoned. She's spicy. She's the chipotle for Good Morning Goddess.
Yes.
All right, anyway.
What are we doing today?
Today our topic is really great. I'm very excited. I've been excited all week because I'm doing something along these lines, and because I said yes to this thing I love, I've been talking about
The
it.
mystery thing.
That thing, and I wanted to share it with you all, so I got all excited.
Please do.
We have to do this topic now.
All right, share already.
I'm trying. Wait,
You can do it.
I forgot. Doing what you love and doing what's important. Both those things. People.
That's a big, tall order.
Doing what you love and doing what's important. And we're going to show
Who
you how they
what's
blend.
important?
Well, your heart decides, and that's really what most people have to learn to listen to these days. They've forgotten to listen to their own heart, which means how they feel about something.
How can you tell when it's your heart?
It feels good. If it's sad. Your emotions are always as they say, Abraham says, we listen to AbrahamHicks.com a lot, and smart wisdom from the ages. You can always tell how you feel because you're the only one in there feeling good or feeling bad.
Okay, I got one for you because, you know, I live this stuff too. I work this stuff.
Yeah.
It's important to me. But I have a question, and since you listen to Abraham even more than I do, if it could be imagined.
Every day.
What if, you know, we always have these situations in life where we come up against something that we're resisting.
Okay.
And it may be about stretching ourselves in a direction that we're a little afraid of, or something that we need to do in order to get where we want to go, but it's not something that we're really thrilled about doing. You know, like paperwork or something like that.
It's got to be done.
But it doesn't feel good, but it feels good like when you're done, like housework.
Okay.
You know? So how do you decide, well, I don't want to do that, so you don't do it, and then the dust piles to the ceiling, right?
Right.
Until you decide I can't stand the dust anymore.
Right. So how well are you motivated by guilt? Or are you motivated by the end result of something? So you know when you get through this, the results are going to be so pleasing.
But there's math. I don't like that.
Then you ask someone to help you. Are you able to ask for help in life? Are you able to hire a housekeeper? One of my things is cleaning the house. Not my favorite thing, but along those lines. I used to do it with a grudge. I used to do it with anger and really like this. I am a prima donna. Do you not understand that these nails are more expensive than this vacuuming thing that is insisted upon?
You know, my favorite one is, why am I not getting help? Why am I having to do all this?
Why do I have to do this all, right?
I need help.
So,
why don't they chip in?
So I said to myself eventually, I'm the only one going like this with the mop on the... I will not admit that I'm a diva who washes her own floors.
You don't.
But I don't. So when
we like to pretend
imagine that I didn't do that,
we like to pretend that we don't.
I would say I'm the only one here, because it was true, and I'm the only one suffering.
And she's the only one that wants the clean floor.
And I'm miserable. Well, that's true. Not true. Everybody loves a clean floor, but they don't notice when it's clean, right? They always go, oh, it's this sticky stuff where you spilled orange juice and you didn't clean it up right. So they always notice when it's done right. You're welcome. Mother's Day was wonderful.
Oh, you know.
Anyway, but I'm just saying, so what I had to do was change my attitude. That was the bottom line.
That's important.
I had to change my attitude.
The only one you can change is you.
That's it.
So one of the things I started doing when I was feeling my little resentments about why isn't anybody helping me and I have to do all this shit all myself and I started saying, wouldn't it be lovely if there were others who got excited about maintaining this place as well as I do? And wouldn't it be wonderful if this person just said, I'm going to do this today? And you know what? It's happening.
No way.
It is happening.
Wow. I thought she was just going to tell us a little story there for a minute and go, would have been lovely, but it didn't happen.
No, it does. It does. It's amazing. In
also,
fact, there was this time I got really pissed at my partner. And I needed help cleaning up. He wasn't there to clean up. And I started doing that. I'm going, wouldn't it be lovely if I had a partner that just really liked stepping up and stepping in and being a full partner and maintaining the space? And you know what, the next morning he came and said, you know, I'm going to help with this.
Wow. Sometimes just setting the intention and putting it out there with love to yourself, just a mindset, changing your attitude is enough to make that vibrational difference in your home scenario. People feel the vibrational difference, like you've relaxed, chilled a little, and they come in and you go, hey honey, could you help me with the dishes?
Yeah.
Sweetheart, would you vacuum today? I'm crunched for time. Sure, no problem. Sure, no problem. Where have you been for 15 years? Sure, no problem. It was me. It was my attitude.
We're creating it.
Right.
And I noticed in myself that stepping back from the perfectionist that I was.
Oh, really?
You know.
Because now she is perfect. Go ahead.
I'm perfectly imperfect.
We talked about this.
We talked about this. So one of the things I realized is that I have to relax my standards of what I deem it to be to allow others to step up and step in and discover their own. And that's a white knuckler sometimes.
Yeah.
Because I got my system.
Yeah. It has to be good enough. Whatever they're doing to help, by the way, when you ask, it has to be good enough because they won't do it again.
Wait a minute.
If you criticize them.
So I want to be clear. It
Yes.
has to be good enough.
Yes. The way they do it, their style.
So in other words, you acknowledge their effort and
Yes.
appreciate it
Yes.
rather than criticizing it.
Exactly.
Do you let them know that, oh, you know, if you tried this, it might help?
Not after the first 3 times. You let them do it their way and be proud of it and continue the pattern of them helping you because they're being praised. Along the way, after the 3rd time, you might say, sweetie, this is really great. And you know, I don't want you working so hard. So if you tried this product, it might be a little easier for you. Thank you.
That was very well said.
Because I do it. Thank you. I need the help. I can't keep doing it all myself. Okay? You know, running 3 businesses, cleaning the home, doing the, you know, and getting my nails done. I just don't have time. So you have to be a very good manager and do it lovingly.
Yeah, and
what was our topic today? Doing what you love and what's important.
And what's important.
Okay.
Keeping the balance. That's the key. Finding, and you're not always going to be balanced.
Right.
It's just not possible. But if you aim for balance,
Right.
let's say this week you got a deadline and so you neglect the housework for a week, so
Mhm.
it piles up.
Mm-hmm.
It happens.
Right.
Don't beat up on yourself. It's like, okay, now I can rebalance this.
Right.
I will put some energy and attention on creating the rebalancing that needs to
Right.
happen, right?
Right. And that happens with relationships. I wanted to make a really good point of something. I have a friend who loves that she is so good. She is such a good person. She takes care of her family, her siblings and her parents, and to the point where she's drained. And I wanted to tell her, explain to her, there's a difference between doing what you love because it's the right thing to do.
And it feels good
And
to help others. It does. It's
That's
very
right.
seductive.
And
Very.
you feel good when you do that, knowing that you're the good person.
Mm-hmm.
But that feeling good makes you feel like it's the right thing to continue doing even though it's draining you.
So I got a question.
Did that make sense?
Yes. Are you doing what you're doing because it's what you really want to do?
Uh-huh.
This is one of the things I tell my clients. Every time anybody asks you for anything at all, I want you to put yellow stickies up all over the house. What do I want?
Right.
That's the first question.
Mine say, what's in it for me? But
But no, that's the first question because they may want you to do something right now, but you are on your way doing something else. Which do you prefer? What do I want rather than what do they want?
okay.
What do I want? And then if it means I'd love to help you out, but I'm doing this first, or it means no, I don't want to do that,
Right.
or it means of course right away.
Right.
But if you ask yourself what you want first, then you know you've taken care of your end of the equation.
Right.
And it comes cleaner. And the second part is that if you're doing something for someone else, why are you doing it? Are you doing it just because you choose to, it feels good, you love this person, you want to give this gift of yourself? Or are you using it to validate yourself in some way? If you're using it to validate yourself in some way, you might be off the track a little bit.
Well, or on the
To prove
track.
I'm a good person, so I
Yes.
did this thing, so I
Right.
can lord it over them and over myself saying I'm a good person. That's not authentic.
Well, wait a minute. I want to say that sometimes people don't realize that that is the reason they're doing it. They're
Well,
not
then,
doing
I'm
it
saying let's ask the
inauthentically.
question.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you should ask the question.
Exactly.
Because if you're doing it to feel good about yourself, like my friend who's really wonderful and loving, but she's being drained every single day. She's exhausted by 4 o'clock in the afternoon. But being a good
That could be
sibling
adrenal burnout.
and could be.
Yeah.
But being a good person, being there for her family, makes her feel good, and she believes she's a good person for doing it. So she's caught in this cycle that
Yeah.
she can't stop because she thinks it's the right thing to do, and doing what she thinks is the right thing to do makes her feel good about it, even though she's exhausted.
But here's the clue. Here's the clue. Exhaustion's just not the only piece here. The other piece is that if you're doing it to validate yourself in your own mind or others' minds, and there's going to end up being some resentment at some point along that path. And so if you're
hidden.
so if you're starting to feel, well, I'm doing all this stuff and nobody appreciates me, or those kinds of thoughts, then you know you're off track.
Right, right.
So there's little ways you can test yourself to discover if what you're doing is actually serving the goodness that is within you, rather than trying to prove something to yourself or others.
Right.
We don't have to prove anything.
Not anymore.
Because you are awesome. You are magnificent. So much. Thank you.
Hi.
So articulate. So
Really,
articulate.
it just struck me with how wonderful you are, and we want you to see it. We want you to see it.
Is that what that was?
I was tongue-tied. I was tongue-tied. You don't see how beautiful you are, and how good, how you show up for people when it's right for you, how you say yes as often as you can, how you say no when it's healthy, how you choose to be kind to yourself when you need to learn to be kind to yourself. Was that my outside voice? Because I've been saying that to me.
We all need to learn it, because let's face it,
Yes.
especially as women, we're taught to be totally self-sacrificial in favor of everyone and everything else, and that's what makes you a good person. They teach it in the churches, they teach it everywhere, and it's like...
Sorry. She still thinks she's a sacrificial virgin.
They do. So, we gotta let go of that one. It ain't working, it ain't serving us. You just have a lot of bitchy women out there.
Whoa, okay, we're not going to go with that one, but you know who you are.
Yeah.
No, or who your grandma was, or who your mom was.
You know, there are other people that are teaching, well, if you're suffering, just give that suffering up to God and all the other people so they shouldn't have to suffer. Is that the craziest thing you ever heard?
I never understood that, and I've studied world religions like you wouldn't believe. We have our guest today, and I've actually
Who
never...
is our guest?
Thank you.
Are you going to introduce our
I
guest?
thought I finished my sentence first,
Right.
because I've never actually understood how your suffering is going to help anybody around you, except by the example that, whoa, I so don't want to do that. And that's, you know, the
it
the old
doesn't
saying.
serve anybody right, because if you're suffering, are we cranky? Are we impatient?
Yes.
Are we bitchy?
I'm saying you're setting an example. You're a horrible warning or a great example. And that serves its purpose too. Everything we do in life serves as a service to someone in some way.
An opportunity to advance their understanding of life as they know it.
Or to hasten their karma quickly. Accidental death by blunt instrument, perhaps.
Have you noticed, though, that some of the most nastiest, crabbiest people live the longest?
I know. My neighbor here has been... I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So,
it's true. You know why?
Why?
Because they let it out. They don't hold it in.
That's not what I was
The
going to
good
say.
people who are so sweet and don't say anything at all die of cancer because they're holding it all in. So
There's a lot to that point. Don't take it personally. There's a lot more to that point about cancer, because I had 2 moms die of cancer, and I know there's a lot to it. But go ahead.
I have a sentence. So I forgot. Oh, but so
Okay, do over.
So anyway, speak your truth. A lot of us have problems speaking our truth, asking for what we want,
Or getting a word in edgewise.
saying what we prefer to happen around us. If someone is impinging upon our joy and our pleasure in life, creating a separation that avoids those kinds of experiences, that's taking care of yourself and speaking your truth. So don't mistake being a good person with swallowing a lot of crap.
Yes.
Then you won't get cancer.
I got nothing. I'm agreeing with that one.
Then you won't get cancer. So.
There's a very strong connection to anger management, and disease in the body. And that's what I want to say about cancer victims and things that have very relatable diseases. It's a dis-ease, an uncomfortableness, an anger, a wanting to reject these feelings that you're keeping in your body. And there are strong metaphysical correlations to disease and
It's like a stew
emotions. Yes.
that ferments
Yes.
and turns into boils and pestilence.
And shingles and hives.
Yes, we don't want that.
Oh my.
We don't want that. So get real, enjoy your life, love your life,
Yes.
do what feels good, honor and bless yourself every step of the way because you're magnificent.
Do what you love. And when you do, that will be the example you're setting for other people to have the courage to do what they love too, whether it's the right job, quitting a job, taking a year off, being with your kids, not being with your kids so much, meditating. The Buddha says take time for yourself.
Yes.
I'm paraphrasing. But it's important.
She even followed my example, which just was amazing
I did.
because I take like a day every week or two when I feel the need to like just shut down. I shut down. I don't answer the phone. I say it's my selfish day. I don't have to be nice to anybody. I don't have to answer any questions.